Now, the Syrian government is locked in some pretty intense fighting with the rebels despite their efforts to block the advance by the rebels. The rebels have now seized Hama, and our next port gets more details.
In their lightning offensive, rebel forces have already captured large areas of the territory besides the second largest city, Aleppo. By late Wednesday, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights Monitor said that government troops were engaged in fierce resistance and were trying to stop the rebels from advancing. The observatory says 704 people, mostly combatants, and 110 civilians have already been killed since the violence erupted last week. This marks the most intense fighting in Syria since the ceasefire in 2020, after years of civil war ravaged the country. Meanwhile, the rebels have claimed victory in the city of Tel Rifat. Armed fighters stood by abandoned military tanks and patrolled the streets as hundreds of jubilant locals began to return home.
The city of Tel Rifat and its surroundings were completely liberated, and a number of tanks and helicopters were captured. We captured a number of prisoners of war from Assad's group, but we are waiting for the area to be cleared of mines so that our civilian brothers can return to their homes.
While one city saw civilians returning, many have been fleeing from another. Several people have been displaced in the Aleppo region following the latest escalation. According to the United Nations, over 115,000 people are displaced after the rebels' offensive in the north. Meanwhile, doctors and paramedics in Aleppo say that they are suffering from a severe shortage of personnel and medical supplies. The Aleppo University Hospital, damaged by bombing over the past week, is still working to only provide first aid services.
Hospitals are often put out of service. There is a lack of staff and equipment. All hospitals are out of service due to the bombing of hospitals.
Residents of Aleppo are facing a severe crisis of their own due to shortage of essentials after the city fell to rebel forces. Since then, the situation has only deteriorated. Bureau Report, WION World is One.